Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now here is the difficult situation. I'm not so sure it's going to be in English or Chinese, so not to say, yeah, okay. Actually, yesterday it was the conference in our College of Education. And then it's the same situation that participants asked, is this to be the Chinese or English section? And then, because there was a foreign participant in the classroom, so we follow all the way in English. And now here is the situation. You want me to talk in English or Chinese? It's the voice, so I know what I am going to do. I do have my PowerPoint in English, but I can still talk in Chinese. Probably that will be easier and quick for everyone to follow the message, and I can go quickly. So, which one would you like to vote? English? Okay, thank you. Now let's see. Okay, since someone voiced English, then that's strong. Okay, everyone. Oops. Situation. I started to step into CLIL in social studies in fall 2008. I shared some of the research results last year in Taichung University. And then here comes, this is the one. Today I would like to share the research results of some of the examples of the lesson plans, and also open to the discussion section, see what questions you have. So that's to say, I started my research in, actually in social studies, it's in spring 2019. Continue to fall 2019, and then to spring 2020. What did I do? We have invited 5 classes from an elementary school near my university. The instruction time is 1 period per week, and then continue all the way to the end of the semester. We talk about the idea with the principals and director, and also the classroom teachers. So we say, how are we going to do this? Okay, they have 3 hours of social study in grade 3 and grade 4. So I say, could you spare 1 hour for us? And then that's to say, some pages, some of the content. So we can design the lesson in English and teach kids this idea. See how they can catch up with us, and then how can they learn English in this field. So this is the way I have my student teachers in my department, English instruction. The students, they took my course in, let's say, for 2018. And then I say we started to step into CLIL in social studies in spring 2019. And then all the way they were with me, so we have the same team. Some of them left, and then that's why we have this group. We conducted the study all the way to spring 2020. I say some of them left. That was because right at the beginning in spring 2019, actually I also invite 新竹实验小学小学部. Okay, they also have certain classes. They join our program. So right at the beginning, the first semester, actually we have 2 elementary schools collaborating with us. And today, this is the information about what are the subjects we taught kids in grade 3, while they were in grade 3. So I talk with the classroom teachers who flip through the textbook. We use their textbook as the content. So we try to see what is the most important idea we want students to learn in this topic. And we talk with the teachers to say which one is easier for us to be in. Which unit is easier for your students to be in the lesson. So this is the one, and then let me share you some of the lesson plans. These are, you have some information this morning sharing about how English teachers, you should design your lesson. How should you kind of interpret the text, and then how should you guide the students to learn with you. So this is the information. The first class we started in September 16, reviewing public places. Now I'm going to share with you what students in grade 4. We taught to them in grade 3. You remember that? So in grade 3, we did have this lesson about public places near their elementary school. And then in grade 4, that's the first unit is about measuring the distance on a map. So we started to review the public places. The places near their elementary school. And then we teach them how to measure the distance on the map. So in the textbook, it says two types of methods. The first one is using a compass. The second one is use a rope. And we designed the lesson incorporating the two methods for students to follow. Here is the example. I forgot to tell you what is the theory, the framework I follow. I use presenting the concept, and then I focus on the procedures. Teachers, how do you design the lessons? How do you design the teaching styles? And then one more important thing is about the practice part for students to be in. So I usually focus on how students can explore the concept in this unit. And then we can also focus on language practice. So this is one example of the worksheet measure the distance after we have taught them how to use a rope, how to use a compass to measure the distance. And then now here is your work you try on your own. So the first one is how far is it from the bank to the supermarket. So students need to locate the bank and then the supermarket. Use a rope to measure the distance on the map and then use the scale to tell what is the actual distance. Now here comes the information about how long is it. It's about, for example, it's about 400 meters. How can students talk about meters? Because last semester we did this one. So I kind of scale for students using what they have learned in the previous lessons and how we can continue to go on. Now this is the second one. The second one in the textbook is about weather, climate. So we start to teach students to read line graph and bar graph. And this is an easy kind of integrate the idea of math into the social study lesson, also in English. So we talk about what does that mean, climate. And then you can see climate, weather, the definition. And then how do you know how to see the differences, the degrees, and then also the amount of rainfall. So line graph and bar graph, the idea were presented. And then this is the information from kind of the idea from the textbook. So we try to locate the information in Hsinchu City, localized, like what everyone talked about this morning. It's a globalization, but we also need to focus on what is the local information we have. So we try to use the information from the website about the weather, climate in Hsinchu City. So we try to combine this information, ask the students the rainfall. And then, like what I say, I want students to do on your own. So now it's your turn. You look at the information and you write on the activity sheet. So this is the one. The next one is, I skip some of the lessons. So this is the one about cultural items. Let's say you can go to a museum or you can ask the senior people to know about the history of some cultures. So we talk about the cultural items, the appliances people used in the old time. And then, for example, a couple of things over there, and then we introduce. So how do we do this one? Okay, this is what I forgot who mentioned about this idea. How can you teach students to get to know about what this is about? What is the concept? It's not just learning about the 5 words. This is easy, just 5 words, then that would be English lesson. But in the textbook, social studies, usually talking about, what is it about? How do people use the old things or traditional things to make it for people to use? And then nowadays it's more convenient. So what is it about? So we try to frame the sentences, and then so students can follow. We do have the material. We do have the product. So how can you use the material to make the product? For example, this is a bamboo hat. This is what the textbook say. So what can we do? In the textbook, the Chinese is kind of complicated. But we don't want to complicate students in English. It's just the concept. How can you tell them? So I say people use bamboo leaves to make a bamboo hat. So this is easy, simple sentence. We can talk about this because yesterday, during the presentation, some of the participants questioned about this. How do we need to teach kids this type of simple sentence? And I say, if this is too complicated, then how can you make sure they understand that? When students have more words, concepts are not incomprehensible to them, that means they have anxiety. When they have more anxiety, it's difficult. It can be the situation for breaking down. It's difficult for students to continue the teachers. So I say, and then in the textbook it says, when do we use this type of thing? So when it's too hot, people can wear a bamboo hat. Then this is easy. When it's raining, people can also wear a bamboo hat. So this is the function of the thing. Now we focus on the material, the function, the product. And this is the idea from the textbook. Later, we design the idea and then the worksheet and the activity for students to do. It's a kind of action, okay, when you flip a card showing a bamboo hat. So what is the material? You find the material on the deck of the cards, and then you flip what is the function of this item. So that is the worksheet. And then later, when students were in grade 4, later more vocabularies, more sentences, so they need to memorize the words. So we give students kind of some of the words for them to put this worksheet in the words list in their notebook, so they can have the opportunity to review at home or when they have time in class. And then we give students a midterm exam. So this is the one, okay, example right at the beginning. What are the words and how did people do? I skip about land form. I remember last time I shared the information about the land forms. So we give students the midterm. The next one is about hometown specialties. In the textbook, it shows some of the major events, major products in some of the counties, township. So we look at the textbook information and we use the things from the textbook and to teach students the concept. So the first one is the concept. Concept is the hometown specialties. And then location. We started, where can you see this one? What is this city famous for? This time we follow the language framework. This is the city, the township. It's famous for something. So this is the one. And then we also focus a little bit on Hsinchu City because later we do have a wrap up, a final presentation. It's about welcome to Hsinchu, and then you can know what we have in Hsinchu. And we were lucky during that time. Okay, so studio we have the opportunity to give a demonstration in this topic. And then this is more complicated. This is the information about the historical sites and attraction in Hsinchu. Because we mentioned about some of the things. And then later, okay, where can you get the information? And this is the information for me, introducing the places. Usually you need to have a map. So my students usually prepare the map and showing the places. And later we use the Google Map iPad, and then so students can also search to locate the places. This is the one. And then we give students a listening test at the end of the semester and also a written test. Now let me go through spring semester 2020. This is when students are in grade 4, the spring semester. Also the same, we started in week 2. And then continue all the way to week 19. We give students review, survey, listening test. And now, as you can see, you sometimes see review. Like a week 9, we had a review. And then week 4, we have a review. Okay, now we learn the lesson. Students learn a lot, but they forget a lot too. So we kind of think that we need to provide the opportunity for students to review, recycle the words, the sentences, so they can continue. So we did review very often during this semester. And we try not to teach students so many units in this semester. Later, I had an interview with some of the students. Consent forms were given to the participants. So students came to us and then we asked them about their ideas. This is the first one about population pyramid. So information about this, and we first use the information from the textbook. The next one is, okay, now let's go to look at Hsinchu, and then I think that was about Hsinchu, and then compare the two cities. And then it's a topic with a lot of information. Okay, so new words, population pyramid, a lot of word percentage. Working age population, and then senior. So different groups. So this is the one. And the next one is about map. This one, okay, I say in the first semester, we taught students public places. I say the second semester, we invite students to create a map, make a map, and then using the information around their school community, and then measuring the distance on the map. So this is the third semester when the textbook shares the information about map legend, transportation, where can you go. So we kind of review the information about map legend, because map legend was taught in the first semester when we came to the kids' classroom. So map legend, now this is the one, and this time it's all about the information in Taiwan, not just in the neighboring community. So we show this is a map, okay, so this shows the map legend, and then a map legend is a picture showing the feature of a map. For example, this is the one, okay, and then showing the railroad is this one. So something like this to explain the map legend and the information, the symbols. After that, we talk about transportation. So after reading the map, so they know, we want to ask the students, how can you go to Kaohsiung from Hsinchu? So this is the one, you can take the train, you can take the HSR, you can take a bus. So which one is more convenient? In the topic, actually, this is talking about transportation and the development of the vehicles, and then we have more convenient transportation tools, the method. So this is the one we say to save time, to save money, and then so you have a couple of choices to choose for transportation. And this is the one about concept and practice. So how can you go to supermarket near your elementary school? You can walk, you can ride a bike, you can ride on a scooter, so a couple of different ways. And we ask them, this is the way that you can do. And then, this is the practice section. I love this lesson. This one, okay, it's a kind of, during that lesson, I was observing students learning. And it bumped in my mind, kind of like, well, in our new curriculum guidelines, we say we want students to learn on their own, and then they try to explore the concepts. In this one, we let students to choice. It's to choose the methods and the items you want to buy. We say you are going to, the first one is an example, the second one is for them to practice. So you're going to go from place A to B, and then, but if this is just one journey, then you can just say take MRT or take the train, that's it. However, we say you need to stop by a couple of places, and to get some souvenirs or specialties, because we learn about specialties. So which specialty do you want to bring to your friends? So the context, the situation is this, the task. So you need to choose and you design your own route. So this is the one you plan the trip. After this one, we continue say, these are the places in Hsinchu City. EC, we talk about attraction, historical sites. And we want to give students a field trip. So we say, in the textbook, you learn about how to plan a trip. So now it's your turn, you plan a trip to live from your school, and then which side in Hsinchu City you want to visit. And you need to tell about your rationale, so something like this. So you say, I want to go to this one, okay, so we vote. So we ask the students, we review the places, actually, and then we try to let students to vote, say that which one is okay for you to go, and then you return within 2 hours, something like that. We conducted this one as a plan a trip, a field trip in one afternoon. So they left at 1:30, and then they need to come back before 3:50, so they can. This is the time for them. And then later, students they chose to go to Hsinchu Zoo. That's a nice idea, because if Hsinchu Zoo was renovated, and then that became a nice attraction site. However, the citizens, they don't need to pay, so it's easy for them to go. And then we went to visit the zoo, and then we gave them some tasks during your visiting, and then you need to pay attention to some of the animals and try to find their information. So later, when they finished the visiting, they had a short discussion, briefing, sharing, summary at the gate, and then after that, they went back to their school. So this is the one. This is the information about plan the trip. And then we use iPad for students to Google to say, here are some of the attraction sites in Hsinchu. So which place you want to go? And then you need to consider the time, the distance, And it's about walk. It's not to take a bus. So you need to consider how long you can walk. Okay, you cannot choose a place to go to. Everyone wanted to go to grassland, 青青草原, but it's too far. But you cannot walk there. So this is difficult. So we say you need to consider some of the places that you Google, and then you choose, find a place that is okay for you to walk easy. Okay. Then this is the section about planning the trip. We say, look, okay, before the trip, you need to listen to teacher. And you do not talk when you walk and pay attention when you walk. This is the rule before we went to the field trip. Then this is the review, and then that will be midterm exam. So review, we give students a different tasks. It's a similar assignment. However, it's a different task with different places. Next one, after that, that would be city and countryside. So in the textbook, it's about city. What are some of the aspects about city? What are some of the aspects about a countryside? So we try to be easy. It's about population, it's about convenience, and about buildings. So here are some of the examples. So the first one is the tall buildings, and then population, convenience, stores. What are the jobs that people usually do during those places? The next one is about the content in the textbook. It's about 3 types of villages. I followed the idea from the book. The book says there are 3 types of villages in Taiwan. So the first one is agricultural village. The second one is a fishing village. The third one is a mountain village. So what do people do in those places? These are the special categories. And then here is the same idea in this agricultural village. What do people usually do? A couple of choices. So we just let them know some grow fruits, vegetables, rice, and then raise animals. So and then they can sell what they have grown. This is the one. And here is one example, okay, about the review. Use the pattern to make a review. This is the one. So something like this. We try, okay, sometimes for language practice, try to make some dialogue sentences. See, this is the way for teacher to have the interaction with the students. Otherwise, it's difficult for them to memorize all the words. It's just words on the worksheet, the vocabulary. So, next one. Next one is the activity. This is the type of village. We say each group gets 3 worksheets in this one. And you draw the villages. So what type is it? That's the agriculture, the fishing village, or the mountain village. So you share your idea. So what do people do there? And here is the next one topic. Next one topic talk about in the past and then now. What about the old streets and some of the stores and the convenience and the money people use? And this is the example. Long ago, people can buy groceries, buy things in traditional market grocery store, sedans. And nowadays, we get a lot of things from convenience stores, more convenient and chain stores. We have those information. And this is about how do people use the money. We used to a lot of time use money. Nowadays, we have a couple of different methods to pay. So we introduced this one, and now here is one type of the example. In the past, people were familiar with each other. Here comes about the community. So do you talk to your neighbors? Do you have a small community close to contact? So people not so close to each other, something like this. And we ask them, how about your neighbors? Do you know them? Do you say hi to them? Now, the next one is like what I say, we kind of thinking about, so, what can students do for for kind of language practice? And this is the idea I got. We use the information, the map from the textbook. And I say, probably you can imagine what the people talk to each other. While look at the information nowadays or in the old time, okay, old time. So how did people talk to each other? Did they say hi? Did they say, what are you going to pay? You going to use a credit card, easy card, or you pay cash? So we want students to try to recycle the language they have learned, to think about this is the situation. So what do people say? It's a speech bubble. For them to create a dialogue, and then they can act out. So for them to share their idea with us. And this is the information about students' discussion. They did that. The next unit is about transportation. Okay, the transportation is in the old time and nowadays. What are some of the transportation methods that we have? We try to teach this unit more interesting. This is difficult, so we try to use the photos. They can understand this is the one. Okay, human power, animal power, and then so what did you see? Okay, which one you know? And then nowadays, you know this type of transportation methods. So this is the one. The next unit is about leisure activities. They say in Taiwan there are different type of amusement parks, and then people can also join different type of leisure activities. So we use the information from the textbook examples and try to say, oh, so what do people do in these places? This is the information example from Taipei City. So people can try a lot of a variety of rides in the amusement park. And these are the information from the textbook. So we highlighted, okay, these are the places mentioned in your textbook. Now you remember, what do people do in Houfeng? So this is one you can ride a bike. This is highlighted in the textbook. So some of the information. The next one is we in a couple of units we try to see how students can connect the information they have learned into their local culture. So this is the one we say we want to talk about Hsinchu. So can you introduce the activities in Hsinchu County or Hsinchu City both? And we say before we started this lesson, we asked the students next time you brought one photo that you have visited the places, and then you share with us. So what is this place about? What do you want to share with us? So they then make a poster to introduce the attraction site or the place, and then the leisure activities they participate in. And this is the information for students. We gave them Hsinchu County and then the township, so they know that's easy, this is the place. And then later, as you can see, they wrote the sentences, the information. And so this is the new, this is the example. We say let's present the ideal example. In Zhubei, we have Hakka House. This is the one, and this is the place. So next time you are going to do one like this. And this is the way to guide the students to know what you're going to do in your poster. And then, let me see, this is the one, yeah, okay. This is what I say in Hsinchu County and Hsinchu City, we do have a lot of places, and then you can have the leisure activities. So we show students this is the information in your township. Now, I'm going to share some of the research results. I do track students of learning, like what you have seen in the PowerPoints. It's about survey. It's about how were students engaged in the lesson. Okay, I just saw that. Time's up. Okay, unfortunately, I didn't pay attention to you. I'm so sorry. So, 2 minutes. Okay. How many minutes did I use? 2 minutes? 2 minutes. Okay, thank you. Okay, quickly look at this one. This is easy. You can read that. Okay. I asked students, do you like this lesson? Did you learn English? Did you like to learn this in this way? So look at the Chinese information, that would be easier. Okay, right at the beginning, the first semester. This is spring semester, fall semester and spring semester, 四上四下. We compare students' information. And what I found is right at the beginning, that's not so high. Later, when they're comfortable with the language, then situation should be better. And then look at, so this is the information actually. And I divided students into 3 groups. Okay, I look at consent forms and look at them, and it happened to be 96 students. And I was thinking about, this is always my question I want to explore, how do students engage in the English lesson? A lot of teachers like to ask for low achievers, something you want to say about. For students with weak language, did they participate in the activity? How did they learn with everyone? And then for us, I think we don't need to question for students with a high English proficiency. It's easy to develop this type of lesson. For students in the middle, kind of like 96 students in the middle group, and then no problem for them if they can catch up. For those weak students, it's difficult struggling right at the beginning, but later will show better. So we try, like what I say, modify some of the activities to engage students. So in the second semester, things happen and then improve. And I want to point out like this. Did you look at the green parts, the statistics, information, the first semester in grade 4, and the second semester in grade 4, as you can see for the students with the lower English grades. And then you can see they change a little bit. So this is the information. And we don't need to question about the highest point grade, group, and the second group. And then I also asked students, we design a lot of activities for you to be engaged in. Did you engage in the activities? And this is the first semester in grade 4. Right? You can see the question students didn't show nice result. That was about the climate. Okay, and I understand climate. It's all about sentences, so long sentences. Which month has the highest rainfall, the highest temperature? It's a long sentence, a long word, so difficult. And then I compare. This is the second semester. This is the second semester that was about the group. So this is the information about students learning. Here comes the result. Okay, look at them. Okay. Look at the Chinese, it's kind of like this. With more time of learning English with more words, and then students can follow, can show something better about the learning results. And then this is my information, and then I say this is the task I give students. So let's look at, this is the information about, yeah, okay. Pair t-test, okay, and then they improve. And I also explore one section about classroom language. So this is the information about language learning sections. Okay, since the time's up, so I'll stop here and then see questions so we can engage. This I can open to questions. Thank you, everyone.